and welcome to Transformation Tuesdays. I am your host, Christy Effelman, the founder of Edge Leadership and author of The Peer Revolution. And today we are joined by my friend and Edge grad. You may hear him refer to it as BGL today. In BGL grad, Chris Courson from DPR Construction. Hey there, Chris.
Hey, Christy. Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to our chat, and I'm honored to be here.
I am honored to have you. I'm honored to have you. So for those of you who have been listening in for a while, you know that last year I started this live series with the storytellers from the book. So we here at Edge Leadership, we build peer mentoring and coaching circles inside of organizations and across industries. And we had 68 different grads who were joining us last year in these lives to share their stories of transformation. And we didn't have 68. We have 68 grads in the book. 12 joined us last year. This year, we're mixing it up a little bit. 2023 is the 10-year anniversary of Edge Leadership. And so each month in 2023, we are celebrating the 10,000 grads of our programs who over the last 10 years have transformed their lives. And I get the privilege to find the storytellers just like Chris who have personally impacted me as a coach. And that's what we're celebrating tonight. So Chris didn't know I was going to say that, but that is the truth. And that's why I reached out to you and asked you. And I will say, when I texted Chris, he came back and he said, absolutely, I'm in. So with that, I would love nothing more than if you would help me welcome Chris. Drop him a note in the chat, share some emoji love while Chris introduces himself to all of you.
Yes, thank you, Christy. I'm honored to be here again, saying it, hearing you tell me that for the first time. So, yes, I'm Chris Courson. I live in DFW in Texas. So, I'm married to a beautiful lady, Mandy, and she is a first grade teacher, kindergarten teacher at Willis Lane. 3 healthy daughters from 13 to 6. So we stay busy on that front and wouldn't have it any other way. So professionally, I'm in commercial construction. I work with our field operations team. I work for a company called DPR Construction. We're national based, and I am out of the Dallas regional office. So, that being said, construction company, we build buildings, but it is what we get to do, besides the builds and build relationships and build people is the icing on the cake. So really that defines who I am. That is my purpose in the industry, to make an impact, a lasting impact. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
I love it. I love it. That's what you do, and it's how you do it, my friend. You build people and have an impact. So speaking of impact, let's start with your story in your words. Take us back to, I can't remember what year was our Edge/BGL experience.
2019.
2000, that's right. It was but it was pre-pandemic times.
Yeah, 9 months.
2019. So take us back to 2019 or 2018, maybe even before BGL. Tell us about the Chris before BGL, and then tell us about what shifted and how.
Yes. Before BGL, I tell you, I went to, I think just a couple years prior, I got my master's degree, and I kind of first studied or formally studied leadership, and that just kind of opened me up. I was like, man, there's more to it than this, than I thought. So, and really, I still didn't get it. It was more about theory and practice. So, just really kind of just cracking the book right there. So, but anyway, so even before that, my career at home. And just natural tendencies. I was always able to be effective, as a leader. Some of that was maybe some talents, core competencies. Some of that may have, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of feedback, and just right place, right time, and being around a great team. So uh, I guess what I didn't, that's before BGL. I knew there was something special about leadership, but I didn't have a direction or a path to really help hone and define. It was still raw to me at that
Mhm.
point. So that was kind of me before before BGL, before getting introduced to you. So
I love it. And then BGL comes in. And what shifts for you during that 9-month cohort experience?
yeah, um, really the biggest thing for me was to be intentional. Uh, be intentional, with leadership, but more specifically, be intentional with kind of getting inside myself and getting to know my feelings. That is not who I am naturally. That's not. I've never been very connected to how I feel. I've never spent any time in introspection time, sitting back, just really understanding um, what it is, what I want, and just those type thoughts. So being in BGL really opened those doors for me. It forced me to be uncomfortable. You know,
I'm
you
just snapping to
know,
you
big
on that.
time.
I mean, it's all about getting more comfortable with being uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, oh, big time. And I tell you, it wasn't easy and it wasn't fun. But whether it was, the group support, whether it was, my family support, even interviewing my dad, but just really identifying life anchors, what's important, identifying my core values, and then just having the right person, right time, right place helped me put all that together and create my purpose, my mission statement, my personal branding statement, who I am, what I do, why I do it, and then my legacy. So um, yeah, that was it. It created a path for me to fulfill my legacy.
I love that.
So
I love that. And so legacy is something that Chris and I have talked a lot about, but maybe a word that some of you haven't thought of yet. So Chris, could you tell us a little bit about like what legacy means to you? How is that tied in with your purpose and who you are? I'm curious.
so I guess I tied in where you know through my purpose and my vision, I'm looking to make an impact. I'm looking to make a generational impact. I'm looking to leave this world better than I found it. So, legacy for me is just that, you know, making an impact on somebody. You know, uh, even with my kids, right? Where they leave the world better, and then they're given, and then making this impact on this person. What's a generational impact for his family, or her family, but they're making that same impact on somebody else. So that that's what I mean by legacy,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
my
I
legacy.
love that. And I think it's an important word that we don't often talk about in terms of how do I want to be intentional to create that legacy. Often when I talk about the word legacy or think about it, it's after someone has passed or after someone is no longer in my life. I'm like, "Oh, they left a lasting legacy." But to think about it the way that you do in such actionable terms of it's in the here and now. It's what I'm doing every day as I'm creating my legacy.
Yeah, yes. So
Yeah, so cool. So, speaking of impact, going back to BGL, as you reflect now with a couple of years and a whole pandemic in the rearview mirror, we hope, what would you say were your three takeaways from that experience? Like, what were they, and why were they so powerful?
well, first, no surprise. It's the introspective work and,
Yeah.
and me getting to get inside myself and just maybe hitting on one thing that helped me define my true north. Right, it helped me know where I was going. It helped me look at my actions and see if that was in favor or was it detracting from that. So whatever the answer may be, maybe my true north wasn't correct, but it just helped me stay aligned. So um, that's one for sure. Um, Secondly, what made our group special, and I'm sure every group, but I can only speak to the group I was involved in. Um, there was an exercise we did. It was I guess the mastermind format. It's where we shared successes as a group. We shared challenges, and we shared need for supports. You can imagine the first one or two cohorts. It wasn't there yet, but we haven't created that safe place. So, and for vulnerability or whatever. So, uh, but I tell you, once we got there, uh, the challenges somebody was facing is something that maybe this person's not talking about, or maybe this person has overcame that and can really help guide you. So that was the power of the team, the power of the group, and then same thing. The successes, me naturally not. Again, this all feeds into me naturally not really looking for those. It just kind of helped me be mindful of that, and then just the request for support was it just helped bond us as a group and earn that trust. So yeah, that was for sure uh, one that that I take with me, and I still use. I mean, I use actively, through our
I
own
love it. So
team coachings.
two things. One that I want to call out for those that are listening, as Chris is talking, what you are hearing is peer mentoring. Like that is such a beautiful opportunity that we have, whether it's inside our organizations or across the industry, across companies in the same industry, or even across different industries, when we as peers can get together and share best practices. These are my successes because, hey, just as Chris said, what is my success this month could be someone else's challenge 2 months from now. And now we know that we have someone in our network that we can go to when we run into trouble. But if he hadn't shared that success in the first place, we would have most likely soldiered on and figured out our challenge through our own resourcefulness and tenacity without ever realizing that if we gave ourselves permission, we could lean into asking for support and learn from each other.
That's right.
Yeah, I love that. So, what was the third one? Introspection,
Only three.
peer mentoring. I mean, I guess I could give you more than three. We've got time if you want to talk. I'm not gonna bust your chops, my friend. I'll let you give as many as you want.
Yeah, I'll stay. I don't want to break the rules here and not be asked back. So, uh, number three, the group coaching, for sure. Um, the way we were set up, it was a triad where we had a coach, coachee, and an observer. So, and then we rotated and gave constructive criticism, feedback, and it's kind of analyzed, just practice the skills. So, uh, I realize I've been doing it all wrong, and sometimes I can fall into my same tendencies if I'm not very mindful of this. I'm a problem solver. Bottom line, that's what I do. I always thought that's what I thought I always thought that was the way to be. But looking through the lens of asking, of aligning and capturing the story and just really creating solutions together, asking the right questions. That wasn't natural for me. So that is something that for sure I took away, stays with me, and something I still am working to hone. So
I love that. So in making that distinction too, the way that you did, because peer mentoring is different than peer coaching. The mentoring is where we're giving advice. That's where we're leaning into that natural inclination to be problem solvers for one another. But in BGL, then we had an additional component that was peer coaching, where we were in triads and would coach one another around our challenges. And our job wasn't to give advice. It was, like, as you said, to ask the thoughtful questions and to support someone to critically think through their own challenge. Because the person with the very best solutions to our own challenges It's us. We're the ones. Yeah, we're the ones that have the color and the context and truly understand the situation. And oh, by the way, we're the ones that are going to have to do the damn thing. I don't know if I could say damn on LinkedIn Live, but I just did. So there you have it.
You just did.
And you thought you were the one that was going to.
Oh, I guess I won that bet.
Right. But then, like, to me, that's such a beautiful, not technique, tool in our tool belt, right? When we start our journey as people managers and we have our first team and we learn how to give feedback, okay, that's directive leadership. There's a really important place and space for being directive, for giving feedback. And then there's also this other tool that is called coaching. And guess what? When we give feedback, we absolutely want to circle back around and coach. All right, now that I've given you this feedback, tell me how it lands. What's the story that you're writing? What do you want to do with the feedback? What are we going to change? We know we need to get different results. What does that look like? And as leaders, instead of saying, oh, by the way, here's what this looks like, I want you to do this, this, and this, that's not coaching. Coaching instead is, all right, of all the things you could do, so that we can shift the perception of this, what would you like to do? What would be the easiest thing you could do? What would be the fastest? What would be the thing you would do if you had no fear? Coaching is opening up other people's minds in a really beautiful way. Yeah, just that. So it's time to close out, believe it or not. And my last question for you, my friend, is this. If you could share any piece of advice right now to someone who is listening, so go back to your legacy and having an impact. And let's say there is someone listening right now who is maybe on the cusp of their own transformation, of being big and bold in their life, whether it's their personal life or their professional life. Like, what lessons learned or advice would you give them from your journey?
For me, it's really, really slowing down, investing and prioritizing in yourself. And I hit it earlier. That was transformational for me. Just slowing down, evaluating where you are, finding that place, that zone, and defining, looking at what's important to you, and putting that into words, and then defining your purpose and your vision, and then just look at your actions and evaluate what you're doing, and just use that as a balancing act. If I'm off here or I'm off here, if my actions feel right, maybe my purpose isn't what I think it is. So, and vice versa. So that is me. Just creating that legacy before somebody can create it for you.
I love it. So with that, my friends, it is time for me to close us out. In the words of Chris Courson, creating your legacy before someone else does. And today, more than ever, my friends, we need not only to have leaders who are challenging the status quo in their lives to inspire us, but we can be those leaders for other people. So some things I'm taking away from my conversation with Chris today is recognizing that we have way more choice than we know, and the power of living a more intentional life, a life that constantly challenges us to be self-aware, because the person that I was in 2019 is not the same person that I am right now. I am evolving, just as my relationships are evolving and my life is evolving and my career is evolving. And I also wrote down that through introspection, I can live a more aligned life. I love that, Chris. I'm taking that away from me. And your goal, my friend, to leave an impact, to have an impact and leave the world a better place. Thank you for making our little corner of the world a better place tonight, my friend. I'm so glad to have had you.
Glad to be here. Thank you for letting me share.
All right, everyone. We will see you next month for our Transformation Tuesdays. Follow social media for the date and time to be announced, and we'll see you real soon. So long.
Bye-bye.